Hey everyone, welcome to the Roto Grinders Morning Grind Podcast. I'm your host, Stevie TPFL. It's October. It's the 28th of October. It's 2016. It's Friday. So we're shifting back to some basketball talk. We have a nice, solid 8-game slate tonight. And these are the types of slate that I absolutely love. I love 8-game slates. I don't love anything over 10. And I'm not a big fan of anything under 5. So this 8 number is right where this is my wheelhouse. So I'm excited about this. I'm hoping that I get into where I need to, travel to, and I'll have time to make lineups for a couple hours before lock. So I'm pumped about this slate. What are your thoughts, Siege?
I'm a fan. I think that this slate is going to be determined by ownership percentage on a couple key guys. And I think they're all pretty late in the slate too. So if you feel like we're running through the first half, it's because we probably are. Because we want to get to the back half of the slate. The back half of the slate is so much better than the front half.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think there's some sneaky spots in the 7:30 games, but I think for the most part, a lot of my exposure is going to come late.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like the guys that went bonkers on Wednesday that you would love to fade in this spot. You couldn't have picked worse spots for you to attempt the fade for literally every single one, and we'll talk about it as we go through.
Don't disagree with that either. If you guys haven't checked out our sponsor, rosters.com, make sure you head on over there, check them out. Use promo code Grinders. Right now, they're running an awesome promo. If you haven't checked them out, use promo code Grinders. If you deposit $10, they'll put $40 into your account. They're giving you money to play on their site to try it out. So make sure you guys check that out. There's a forum post over at the top of the forums over at Roto Grinders. Just hit the main forum button, and you'll see the post there at the top. If you have any questions, just post it in there. And they have a rep that comes on the forums quite a bit, so they'll definitely get that taken care of for you. And you'll get incentives here at Roto Grinders for rosters, so make sure you guys check that out. Let's jump right into this 8-game slate. It's interesting. The first game of the night is probably one of the better actual basketball games on the night. It's Cleveland at Toronto. This game has a 204.5 total. Cleveland's favored by 2 in this game. What's your thoughts on the Cleveland side here?
Kyrie's price is way too low on DraftKings.
Okay.
Like, Westbrook is 11-8 and Kyrie's 7-7. Like, that's just wrong. I mean, look, I'm not saying that, like, Kyrie is as good as Westbrook, but, like, he's not, like, 30% worse than him. And that's a real stretch. And I know this is a kind of a sneaky pace down game, but, we know LeBron went bonkers in that first game, off the ring ceremony. Cleveland was just nuts that night. But I think this is going to be Kyrie's team this year. And I think that his scoring upside is for real. And I really like him in this spot at 77. Should be pretty low owned. And I think it's kind of a nice mid-tier price for a guy who I think will get closer to 9K as the season goes along.
Yeah, and let's be real for a second. We don't expect Kevin Love to score 20 points a night.
No, although he does get a really good spot to maybe do it in this game.
Yeah, and I was going to say, as much as I love to fade Kevin Love, this is a spot where on FanDuel he's 7,100. That 5X that you need for cash games. I think he's actually playable here.
Yeah, we talked about all these guys we'd love to fade, not being able to fade. This is example number 1.
Yep. So J.R. Smith, pretty cheap across the industry. He played 25 minutes in that opener. I would expect him to kind of stay around that number here.
Yeah, I think he's a fine value option if you need him. I'm not sure we're going to need him.
Anybody else here from the Cleveland side? Jefferson and Dunleavy got minutes off the bench, but I think there's other value plays that we'll like in that price range.
I think you could play Dunleavy at 3K, just given the minutes he got. But I can't really be like, oh, let's play Dunleavy. If you got stuck and you needed him, I wouldn't completely laugh at you.
Yeah, he's only 36 on FanDuel, right there around that minimum salary, pretty much on every site. So, yeah, I guess you make a fair enough point there where if you're building lineups and you just need a punt at min salary, at least he played the minutes. So we could take that for sure. Looking at the Toronto side of things here. Oh, and I want to mention Shumpert. I know he had a concussion. He practiced in full on Thursday. They're expecting him to play in this game. So no value plays opening up because of injury.
Yeah, we're not even sure if he had a concussion. So, but Kay Felder is going to play this game as well. So I don't think you can really use Shumpert. I think those backup point backup point guard minutes are gone. So for me, I think he's kind of a complete fade.
All right, looking at the Toronto side of things, Valanciunas looked great in that opener. 35
That's what
minutes.
happens when you face Andre Drummond. Don't do it.
I was gonna say, let me finish and we'll get there.
I'm just so trigger happy, man. It's basketball. You know how excited I get to talk basketball? I just get so trigger happy. I was doing it on Grinders Live today too. It's just man, I love talking about basketball, and it's so much fun. Sorry, go ahead, buddy.
The initial research though, the only place that I had interest in Valanciunas is FanDuel. He's 6,000, 5x for 30 points. That's very doable. I
just am not going to go there. This game can downsize.
No, and I get that, but with Solinger being out, I think Valanciunas' minutes are just locked in.
What if they just downshift Patrick Patterson to the 5 and just play small?
Do you hear what you just said?
They can do that against Kevin Love playing the 5.
Patrick Patterson. God, I would love Love if I know Patterson's going to play.
He's going to.
Oh, man.
It's him and Sidecam. There's a reason that we said you can't fade Love.
Yeah, for sure. Sidecam is a value play that I don't hate. I just don't know if this is the right matchup.
Yeah, I think we can kind of. I'm just gonna pass on that situation. I don't think we need it. We need it. And power forward has guys with 100-point ceilings on that position.
DeMar DeRozan, 40 actual points and only had 45 fantasy points. He's a fade for me every night.
Yep. This is the one guy that I'm thrilled to fade, and I actually think he might get some traction because people don't know how good Cleveland is against wings.
Any interest in Lowry?
Nah.
I just don't see a lot from the Toronto side that I love here.
No, I think it's kind of a Kyrie Love and pass situation.
All right, we were talking about it before the show. My Orlando Magic against Detroit here. This game's in Detroit. It's a 198.5 total. Detroit's favored by 4 in this game. We were talking about it before, and the starting 5 for the Orlando Magic, every single one of these guys played at least 35 minutes, and they played an 8-man rotation. If they do this all year, the Magic is going to have excellent value.
How much Vooch is too much Vooch in this spot?
You don't have to sell me, my friend.
Against Drummond, we just saw what Jonas Valanciunas did, and they're pretty similar type of players, and Vooch might be better.
Yeah, and Vooch's usage was up in that opening game too.
Now, the only thing you have to remember, Bismack is coming back.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He was only suspended 1 game.
I thought it was a 2-game suspension. Are you sure?
I think it's 1. Why? I'm pretty sure it's 1. It's 1. He got it was for flagrant fouls.
Oh, I thought it was 2.
Let's find out because that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's 2.
Bismack Biyombo suspension. I'm pretty sure it's a 1 game. Yeah, suspended for the first game.
Okay. Well, that should eat into the minutes of Ibaka a little bit.
And Aaron, are we really upset if Serge Ibaka plays less minutes at the 5?
No, I'm not going to play him anyway.
So it's a good point. So we've talked about an 8-man rotation. It's going to be a 9-man rotation. But I don't really think that's going to affect Vooch too much. I think Vooch is going to get his.
Vooch will get his. I think Aaron Gordon will still get his too.
Yeah, I think Serge Ibaka is kind of and Jeff Green are the kind of guys that get squeezed.
Man, Fournier, this is a pretty good matchup here against KCP. Fournier, he played 39 minutes against Miami.
He's going to play probably about that in this game too.
Yeah, there's going to be a section where we talk about later in the show, and Fournier just continues to be cheap on every side. I love this matchup.
And Ish Smith can't play defense. Elfrid Payton. Offense is running through him this year. We saw it in the preseason. Did it again. He shot the ball bad, and he still got, 16, 4, and 5. He played 38 minutes, and he wasn't shooting the ball well. Imagine what happens when he shoots the ball decently well. He's 5,700. A lot of upside there.
Yeah, there was a reason they got rid of Oladipo. They want Fournier and Payton, running this guard position, and DJ Augustine. I don't think we really have to worry about him or Mario eating into their minutes.
I would hope not.
Looking at the Detroit side of things here, We love playing bigs against the Magic, but I think Biyombo actually changes that a little bit this year. Like, he's a rim protector that's actually pretty solid. Massive upgrade from Serge Ibaka. What's your thoughts on the Detroit team in this game?
I think that's a pace down situation for him. I'm not really interested in anybody other than Drummond because we know Vooch can't defend. But if he gets minutes against Biyombo, that kind of kills the super ceiling of him. So I don't really want to go anywhere here with Detroit. I think they're just a better real life team than a fantasy team.
I don't mind Tobias Harris against his old team here. I still think that's a thing.
This is just the lowest total on the board, so it's just like, how much interest do I really have in this?
I have Charlotte, Miami at the lowest total, but either way, they're both pretty low compared to what we're going to get into at the end here.
Yeah, or even our next game has got a pretty solid total as well.
I was worried, like, what do we do with the situation with Drummond's minutes? Did he get into foul trouble or something? He only had 24 minutes in that game.
Yeah, he had some foul trouble issues, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to, like, there's so many good centers on this slate. Like, we have to talk about, like, what we're going to do with Clint Capella.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to Indy at Brooklyn, and we're going to get one of those centers. Miles Turner, still cheap pretty much everywhere. And tell me why I'm not playing him against Brook Lopez and this front court that he should be able to dominate.
Price hike, blowout. That's all I got.
Yeah, so this game, 214.5 total. Indy's favored 6.5 here. Miles Turner, 6,900 on FanDuel. Like, that price tag is really, really solid.
Yeah, it's an overtime. What did you say his price tag was on FanDuel?
6,900.
Man, I think this is one of the spots I want to fade. I know it's Brooklyn, but he played 38 minutes last game, and that was overtime. He shot the ball really well. Dallas really can't rebound. Brooklyn at least can kind of pretend to rebound a little bit. This is a spot where I think I just have to fade. He was a streaky shooter last year, and I don't think that's really going to change this year. It's going to be hot or cold, and if he goes cold, you can kind of gain on the field here. It's not like he can't go for 50, but I think this is a good situation to fade. The price hike is a little too high for me.
Anybody from the Indy side that you're looking at in this game?
I'm not playing Paul George probably like all year. At least until like they figure out what they're doing multiplayer eligibility pricing. Ellis is not going to do that again. That was the birthday revenge game double narrative that we somehow missed. Jeff Teague against Jeremy Lin.
That's the one spot that I was looking at too. Like, solid minutes. Yeah, like you said, overtime game, but all the starters played really solid minutes here. They didn't use a big bench.
Yeah, I would definitely think that's a fine option.
All depends on.
It's like he shot 5 for 15. He's going to shoot better than that.
And it all depends on price too. It depends on what Jeff Teague is priced at, because we have some value point guards that we can look at too.
He's 6,200 on DraftKings. I feel like that's really fair. 5x is 30. I don't think that's crazy against Jeremy Lin and the Brooklyn Nets turnover propensity.
That's true. Looking at the Brooklyn side of things, they were awful on opening night. I don't know what to do with this team.
I think it's kind of a stay away, other than Bojan Bogdanovic, 4,200, knocks out small forward or knocks out shooting guard. He played 24 minutes in that last game, was really good. Gets a good matchup here against the Pacers. He should fade the Paul George defense in this spot. So I kind of think he can kind of go score some points. I think, you can kind of get 25, 28 points from him, which would be really awesome at that 4,200 salary.
If Lin was cheaper, I'd have a little interest because he's going to put up double-digit shots every night, but he's just not cheap enough.
Right.
And just not the matchup to play him. So let's move on. We have Charlotte at Miami taking on the Miami Heat. This game sitting at a 198. Miami is favored by -2. First injury news of the night. Ellington is ruled out already for this game again. So Nothing really changes for the Heat from what we've seen on opening night. Looking at the Bobcats first, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. What a game on opening night. 46 fantasy points. What are you taking there?
I had no idea he even had 46 DraftKings points.
Yeah, he had a double-double and shot 10 of 18 from the field.
Yeah, let me see that again. I mean, he shot so bad in the preseason. That could just be one of those hot games. So that feels like an easy fade to me. This game, honestly, just low pace, kind of like we're going to use Luke Babbitt at the 4, so Marvin Williams not in play. By the way, Marvin Williams went a little bananas, 13 and 10. That was a very nice for his price. That was a pretty solid play. I can't play him this game, though. He looks so good on my screen every time I look at him. I love that guy. He's going to win me so much money this year. Marvin Williams. But seriously, in this game, for me, it's just Hassan Whiteside. I mean, Cody Zeller and Roy Hibbert. I just literally got the chills thinking about it.
Yeah, there's a few good centers on the slate, and he's definitely one of the guys that we're going to target here for sure. I'm with you. I think that he's a fine play here on the slate. What's your thoughts on Winslow? Played 34 minutes on opening night, and he's still pretty cheap everywhere.
Yeah, more of a play on FanDuel where I need to lock up those small forward spots. I'm just not going to use small forwards really too much on DraftKings this year if I can avoid it.
The only issue, he might get Nicholas Batum.
Yeah, that would be pretty ugly. Tyler Johnson was a guy who played 28 minutes, 4,300, and you can slide him over to shooting guard. Plays the backup point in some 2. Don't mind that. He did shoot the ball pretty well in that first game, but for 4,300, I think it's at least worth a dart.
Yeah, I don't mind that for tournaments at all. Any other things that from this game? It's not like we're going to get into these next 4 games, and it's going to sound like the first 4 games. You guys can hear our interest levels change.
Goran Dragic, just the usage rate, and Kemba really can't play defense.
Yeah, Dragic, he's going to probably have one of the highest true usage rates of the season.
It's nothing like the Browse.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Phoenix at Oklahoma City. Here we go. Good games. Let's get into these. 209 total here. Oklahoma City favored by 9 in this game. I don't know what Vegas is smoking, but I expect this game to stay much closer than that.
You clearly did not watch the Kings Phoenix game.
I did not watch Phoenix. Are they that bad?
It was bad. It was really, really bad. It kind of reminded me of what I saw tonight from the Jacksonville Jaguars in terms of just no effort, not showing up. It was bad.
That's always that's good to know. Good to know.
It was so bad, I think they kind of have to show up in this spot. I just don't know what to do with the Phoenix side. Bledsoe, Booker, they kind of just all eat each other's shots up.
Knight's back.
Booker just oh man, just
the guy that I like here is TJ Warren.
Yeah, I don't mind him. It's just what's his real ceiling here?
Oh, if he's going to put up double-digit shots every night at his price tag until his price raises, I think we can look at him.
Yeah, that's probably a fair point. He's going to draw Kyle Singler and who's the Roberson? Roberson. Yeah. He should have an advantage of a Roberson in terms of just height and be able to pound him a little bit.
Yeah, even if he gets matched up a little bit with Oladipo, that's a plus matchup too.
Yeah, speaking of Oladipo, I could not have been more wrong on that guy. He is frigid right now, just frigid.
He's super cold. There was a report that came out Donovan sat him down because he couldn't make a shot.
Yeah.
So until we see Oladipo start making shots, I think we can fade him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the minutes will be there when he starts getting hot. Because trust me, I don't think Billy Donovan wants to play Kyle Singler 22 minutes and Samaje Christon 15 minutes. I have no idea if
they want it to be Westbrook, Oladipo, but Oladipo's super cold. Finished the preseason kind of cold too, so we'll see how that plays out. But Westbrook, he's good at basketball. We don't have to tell you that. If you can afford the 12,000 on FanDuel, in cash, the guy he's gonna be one of the safest plays each game.
Is there anybody else on the Thunder you have any interest in?
I don't mind Adams. he's still cheap, but center is so loaded. That's the issue.
And Chandler and Len can like kind of do just enough, or I'm just like, what's my real upside here if I go there?
Yeah, it would be more of a cash play. Like if I'm going cheap at center, I would probably look at him or Capella. So that's going to be the decision you're going to have to make if you want to pay up for these other positions.
Yeah, exactly kind of how I feel about the situation.
That's it, right? Like that is these guys that are like if you're taking anybody from Oklahoma City, I think it's going to be Westbrook.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right, let's move on. Houston at Dallas. This team did not disappoint. Houston is not going to disappoint this year. They stink on defense and they can score points. There's nothing better than that in fantasy.
Clint Capella is too cheap.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. 221.5 total here. Dallas favored by 2. The only injury news we have is Harris is out, and he's expected to miss a couple more games. So pay attention to that news. We'll start with Houston. You mentioned Capella is too cheap. I was super heavy on him opening night for Houston, and he did not disappoint.
Yes, the only thing that's concerning is the minutes, 26 minutes. But that game got small and fast. I don't think Dallas could do that even if they wanted to.
Yeah, and Capella could definitely, play Dirk.
I would think he has the advantage in that type of matchup. So, I just really think this is just a situation where just Capella, if you play minutes for Houston, I'm in. Like Ariza, Eric Gordon, James Harden, like how many minutes did KJ McDaniels end up with?
12. He didn't play a bunch.
All right, then great. Just play the starters then. We're done. That was fun. Great analysis.
Yeah.
The prices eventually will get to a point where it'll be harder than that, but it's not there now.
I really like Eric Gordon on FanDuel. He's 5,200.
I love the Harden Gordon combination on FanDuel. I rolled it out on Wednesday. I'm going to roll it out again in this spot.
Yeah, I like that call. And like if you play Harden and Westbrook together, you can just almost get your 120 points locked in.
So how do we attack Dallas?
The Dallas side, is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Am I crazy for thinking Darren Williams is a play?
No. But, he could get in foul trouble facing Harden. It's always a risk.
Okay, so then maybe J.J. Barea as a tournament play? We know Harris is out. Those two guys are going to play all the minutes.
Seth Curry.
But I was kind of worried that he only played 16 minutes on opening night.
Yeah, it's a concern. Wesley Matthews.
Harrison Barnes is still cheap.
Matthews took 16 shots in that game. Went 3 for 16.
Does that shock you at all that Matthews put up 16 shots?
No, and the 3 doesn't surprise me either, but it always leaves you so much upside if you just shoot 50% one night.
This one time, Matthews. This one time. He still scored 28 FanDuel points at 5,100. Barea, 32 fantasy points at 5,100. And Harrison Barnes, 27 points at 5,100. So, you could get some really good value from Dallas on FanDuel.
And a massive pace-up game, too.
Yep. So, I think we're on the same page. I think you can look at some of these value guys. I don't think you play Dirk here. And I really don't hate Darren Williams, but I actually kind of like Barea a little bit more.
Just because, I kind of just this is the dream Ryan Anderson spot. Power forwards and centers that are slow to the three-point line.
Yeah.
If he's hot, it could be 50 DK points.
He's going to have big games this year. Me and you talked about it when we did the preseason breakdown, but yeah, Anderson's going to have probably 5 games this year that are just going to be bonkers.
Yeah, speaking of bonkers, Mo Harkless right now going completely ham.
All right, LA at Utah. This game is sitting at 201.5. 8.5 favorites is Utah. Calderon on the Lakers side, doubtful for this game. He returned to practice, but it sounds like he's still a couple days away. Hayward's out, and Favors was a full practice on Thursday. He's questionable coming into the Friday game. Be shocked if he doesn't play in this game, but we'll see what happens. Let's look at the Lakers side first. What piques your interest here for LA?
Nothing. I don't play guys against Utah.
Are they still that team, though?
Yes. I'm not going to let one game kind of
It's a little different rotation though, too.
I just think it was just a weird spot, like where Utah was just having so much success playing pick and roll transition. Joe Johnson versus Damian Lillard, like he was just getting layup after layup after layup for 3 quarters, and they kind of just like couldn't turn it down when they had to. I just think this is just. I'm not gonna really panic about Utah yet.
The one issue that I have with the Lakers after seeing them on opening night, nobody played over 30 minutes, and they went really balanced with minutes here with this young group of guys.
Yeah, agreed.
And this is not a spot that I want to target D'Angelo Russell, so I just don't think this is going to be the spot that I'm going to play him.
It's just with the totals high, I just would much rather attack the Utah side. No Hayward. Favors is still questionable here. He took part in full practice, so it looks like he'll go. But, still Rodney Hood in a good spot for sure. And Gobert against those Lakers that kind of like to drive to the hoop might not end up doing quite well for them.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, until Hayward comes back, Rodney Hood going to be one of the guys that I target on a nightly basis. He had the ball in his hands a ton in that game against Portland. I don't see that changing here against the Lakers.
I wouldn't think so, no.
Our old man, Joe Johnson, old man Joe, played 31 minutes and had a great game, just a great game shooting the basketball. Just don't expect him to go 12 for 16 every night.
It was layups. It was all layups on Damian Lillard and pick and roll. You won't get that much luck with George Hill.
But yeah, the four core guys here, Johnson, Hood, Hill, Gobert, is where I'm going to be playing. If Favors plays in this game, I have a lot less interest in Joe Johnson.
Don't play Joe Johnson either, in any scenario.
He's so cheap still.
Don't do it. I know you didn't watch this game, so let me just tell you, don't do it.
I actually did watch some of this game.
Oh, well, then you should know. Don't do it.
Golden State at New Orleans. Golden State at New Orleans. Golden State coming off of a loss at New Orleans. 220 total, minus 10 in this game for Golden State. So before the show, I was doing my research, and I was curious to see what the usage looked like in that game against the Spurs when Curry, Green, Durant were on the floor together. Durant had the highest usage by like 6%.
I'm just not going to let one game just dictate. I think it's going to kind of rotate between those four. You got to have exposure to them all.
I just don't like Klay Thompson, I think, right now. I want to see a game where he has a good game first. I think he's going to be the odd man out. Make shots when you're open type Klay.
I just think it's funny that you buried the lead here. I'm serious. You clearly buried the lead here.
They're the home team. We talk about the visiting team first.
Oh, yeah. Play. If you want to play any of the four, are we really going to sit here and argue and say you can't play them?
No.
I would probably play Klay the least too. I agree, but I probably wouldn't play much Draymond because he's got. All
right, let's talk about it.
I'm sorry, but the guy freaking had 100 DK
No,
points.
he did not. He had
99 and a half. Whatever. He had 100.
He did not get to 100. He's not in that elite club of 100.
He had whatever. 99 and a half. 100's way easier to say. I'm trying to save time.
No, 99 and a half. No, I'm not giving him 100.
I just don't know what to do here, Stevie. I have no idea. He's going to be 60-something% on tomorrow at 10.8 on FanDuel, and I just have no freaking idea.
Can I tell you what to do? Play Tim Frazier.
But it was all pick and roll.
I don't care. Play Tim Frazier. He's still 5,300 on FanDuel.
Okay, I can play Tim Frazier. Great. But if he goes off, so is Brow.
Then play them together. The only way New Orleans stays in this game is if Anthony Davis and Frazier have good games. And I think you'll agree with me on that.
Yeah. Well, there's one way. There's another way. It's just
Golden State doesn't show up to the building. Yeah.
No, there's another way. And it's called the outliers, the outlet out of here. I'm going to spoil this is a rosters play. Terrence Jones standing in the corner, kick out threes, and it just gets hot.
Sure.
That's the only other way. Anthony Davis versus Golden State. DK points by game. What do we got? Oh my goodness, this history versus Golden State is exactly what you think it would be too.
Solid, right?
Yep. The low since the Pelicans became the Pelicans in 2013 again is 32, but he's got 4 games over 55.
You know what's really crazy too? Like a Westbrook, Harden, Davis team on FanDuel is actually pretty doable.
Here's the problem: 55 DK points isn't even value, right?
No, he's
5X?
priced up there. He's up there.
5x is like, so that's like, I think if I could just have the stones to do it, just to fade.
But you're not going to have the stones.
I really hope I get the courage to do it. And it's just like the guy has to go for 75 for you to lose again. It's the same situation as opening day. Like if he goes in for 75, you just sit there, you bow your head, and you move on.
I think the one reason that you can fade him here is Golden State's coming off of a loss, and they're going to come out and just – I think they're going to pound this New Orleans team. The one issue, though, like, did you watch it? I'm guessing you watched the Golden State game?
Yeah, he got burned by every single big guy on the floor.
No, it's just like, okay, well, you paid this money for Durant. Where'd your bench go?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
the bench was never good. That's why they lost the finals.
Yeah, but they were good enough.
What changed on the bench? They lost Mo Spates. Mo Spates really is like what the determining factor in that game was.
Well, they lost their rim protector, Bogut.
He wasn't really playing much minutes, and I don't know. I think the bench has always been a problem. I don't think it just got exposed in the worst way possible on opening night. I just like his usage rate's through the roof. He's gonna have like a 40% usage rate on this team. It's just like
it might even be higher than that. His true usage rate might pitch 50% this year. Until Jrue Holiday comes back.
Or Tyreek. I just don't know what to do. Like it feels like this is like the analogy I come to is like everything tells you to bet against the Patriots, but you just know the Patriots cover time after time after time. And everything you know about DFS says you fade a guy who's priced this high, that's going to be this highly owned. You just do it blindly and you don't look back. But man, if he just stays healthy.
Do you really think he sees a high ownership with Westbrook and Harden?
He put up a freaking 100.
No, he didn't. He put up 99.
He was already 38% on FanDuel. It's a shorter slate.
Yeah, and power forward on FanDuel it's not great.
I just think he's going to clip 60, and it's just like...
You tell me you're going to get 60 from him. I just clicked that button.
No, I'm at 60% ownership.
Oh, okay.
No, if I knew he was going to get 60, I would just click the button. 60% ownership, though, it's just like... I don't know. I've been literally thinking about this since Wednesday night. I had written out a tweet like, oh, Anthony Davis is the easiest fade in the world on Friday. And I just says like, before I was just like, let me just see who they're playing before I send this tweet. And I saw at Warriors and I was just like, first Warriors. Like, you got to be kidding me.
Of course.
Couldn't be a team that like actually couldn't have been like Miami or the Jazz or something. Like it really had to be freaking Golden State.
Of course. You shouldn't have expected any different.
This is the spot where, like, if the brow of old is back, this is when he gets hurt. Every time. Every time, this is when he gets hurt. Or has a scare at the very least and sends Twitter into a 20-minute rant about whether he's coming back or not. Every time. Just when you think the guy is so good you can't fade, he just comes down and breaks your heart.
In good matchups, too. It's always in good matchups, too.
Like, if Anthony Davis is still the form, this is when he gets hurt. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I might not know what I'm going to do 20 minutes before lock. Like, it's just,
we're doing the podcast the night before, which is really tough for NBA. But either way,
that even matters though. It's just like it's such a gross spot.
No, what I was going to say is like either way, like Anthony Davis is in play.
Well, yeah, I don't think they needed us to tell him that.
It all comes down to like in cash games, if you can fit him in, fit him in.
I would not fit him in cash games. I would absolutely block with Anthony Davis in cash.
Yeah,
100% out of 100.
so, but yeah, in tournaments, it all depends on like the size of your kahunas. Let's be honest. It all depends on like how you feel.
What do you think you're gonna do, Stevie?
I'm gonna be underweight on the field.
That's what a cop out answer.
Why? I'm not fading him. Of course not. Like if he was playing like you said, if he was playing Utah, if he was playing one of these other teams that's strong against power forwards, it would be a lot easier. But like he's going to have insane usage this year. Like he's their scorer and he's their big man. So it's like he's getting the rebounds and he's scoring all the points and he's getting steals because he's active and he's blocking shots because that's what he does.
Yeah. All true.
So like there's no reason like he shouldn't average close to a double-double this year if he stays healthy.
Yeah, well,
and like it just comes down to like you cannot predict if a guy's going to get hurt or not, so you have to play it until 2 minutes into the slate where he's in the locker room. So, but that's going to do it for the game-by-game breakdown here. Obviously, the Anthony Davis thing is something you're just going to have to feel out. He's going to be highly owned, and there's no reason not to play him in cash games. But that's going to segue us into our next section here. Rosters value play section, and like I said on opening night, I'm still kind of learning the rosters like value, where the range is. So right now we're going to stick with guys under 10K that we like over at rosters.com. And I'll let you lead off, Siege.
I already mentioned Terrence Jones. He's 6,900 over there, which is like free. If you're playing Golden State guys and just hope maybe he stands in the corner and makes 5 threes.
Sure.
Bojan Bogdanovic, the guy I mentioned, did really well opening night. I think he's going to take a lot of shots for this team. Like the Nets just have to score points, and they don't have a lot of shooters on that team. He's 8,400. And Elfrid Payton at 9,800. I really like that spot against Ish Smith. Maybe some Vooch pick and roll, draw Jones away from the basket.
All right. I can definitely get behind those plays. What I have here is I have Rodney Hood at 9,300. Love that play. Tim Frazier at 85, just lock that in. Like the usage rate for Frazier and Davis, we've already talked about it. And George Hill, a guy we didn't mention a lot, but looked good in this Utah offense, 9,400 until Hayward comes back. I expect Hill to continue to stay pretty heavily involved here.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think that's a nice contrarian option there. I like that call a lot.
And one bonus pick, because I wrote down 4 because I didn't talk to CJ before we did these. Evan Fournier at 9,400. I like that. We already talked about you talked about Payton. Fournier and Payton are going to play a ton of minutes this year.
Yeah, no complaints with that whatsoever.
All right, that's going to do it. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
This is a fun slate.
It is.
I've been dreading this slate for 2 days in terms of like what I'm going to do with Brow, but that's the fun of this. In a sick, delusional way.
Yeah, sure.
Stevie's like, you're just one sick person.
I'm just thinking about trying to narrow down this player pool to write an article after this. That's all I'm thinking about.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of options that I like. This is a really good tournament slate. But that's going to do it here for the Friday edition of the Morning Grind podcast. We'll be back on Monday to talk hoops. Good luck in your contest this weekend for NFL. If you haven't checked out our NFL podcast yet, that was posted on Thursday. We did a game-by-game breakdown there. Siege has his NBA package up in the daily marketplace. If you guys like tournaments, if you're trying to learn more about tournaments, it's a great place to do so. He has his models up there. He has a chat system where you guys can ask him questions. All kinds of shows and stuff like that. So make sure you guys are checking out that in the marketplace. And good luck in your contest, and we'll see you again on Monday.